the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people.
Elon Musk and 50 Cent just dropped a claim that has the industry on edge. The story being pushed is that Diddy isn't really the boss. He's more like a distraction. And if these allegations are accurate, the people actually pulling strings make past scandals look minor. If Diddy felt like the final boss, it may turn out the map was wrong from the start. Elon Musk isn't just speaking loosely anymore, at least according to what's circulating. There's talk that he and 50 Cent are aligned in exposing who's really been steering this empire from the shadows. While 50 has stayed loud about parties and promoted his documentary, Elon is rumored to be holding something far more dangerous: data. Private messages, digital trails, and internal patterns from Twitter, now that could seriously shake Hollywood if revealed. What's being outlined is a 3-level power structure. At the bottom sit major superstar figures people already debate. In the middle are industry decision makers who control access and influence. And at the top is one unexpected name, allegedly hiding in plain sight. This isn't just about music anymore. It stretches into influence, institutions, and authority, something 50 has been warning about for months.
That they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, them Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do.
Before we climb this pyramid, it's important to understand why Diddy's case goes far beyond hip-hop. This isn't about background details or a biography rundown. It's about why this situation matters right now. As most people know, 50 Cent released his Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, because almost no one else in the industry was willing to speak up. According to 50, staying silent wasn't neutral. It sent the message that the culture was okay with what was happening. He pointed out that many people were either scared, compromised, or under pressure, which left very few voices willing to say anything publicly. With that silence growing louder, 50 felt he had no choice but to step forward.
Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly. This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately: Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
This is where the allegations become more serious. Diddy is accused of having a large number of hidden cameras inside his home, allegedly recording private gatherings. People familiar with the situation have claimed the footage wasn't kept for entertainment but as leverage. The idea was control through information. What's causing real concern now are reports that this material is being quietly passed around behind the scenes, making powerful names nervous. This is also why Elon Musk's involvement shifts the conversation, because owning X means access to years of private messages, digital patterns, and connections that don't simply disappear. Now the focus shifts to industry power players. When Elon Musk spoke with Joe Rogan, he didn't speak in riddles. He openly questioned public figures and named names. One moment that stood out involved Jennifer Lopez, who has been vocal in warning the public about political figures. Elon raised a question few others were willing to ask. If she felt a responsibility to warn people, who exactly did she warn back then?
Like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically. And yet they still fed him kids. And like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be.
They had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams is talking about it on
exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids,
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood. And you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these, you're like.
According to him, the answer was no one. Jennifer Lopez was publicly known as Diddy's former partner, and Elon stated plainly that her silence raises questions. That single comment spread fast because it forced people to think. If someone that close never spoke up, what does that suggest? Either she truly knew nothing, which many find hard to believe, or she knew something and chose not to speak. If it was silence, then the question becomes why. And more importantly, who that silence may have protected. This is where the pyramid starts to take shape. Level 1 includes Jay-Z and Beyonce. Some people might be surprised they're placed at the bottom, but that perspective changes once you see who sits above them. Jaguar Wright spoke publicly in a televised interview and made claims the industry clearly didn't want repeated. She discussed alleged connections involving Jay-Z and Diddy that powerful people prefer left untouched. Less than 2 days later, the interview was removed. No warning, no explanation, gone. Jaguar raised a point that still hangs in the air. How does a high-profile interview happen on a major network without a single question addressing long-rumored industry relationships, including past associations that involved vulnerable individuals? That silence continues to speak loudly. So how does an interview like that even happen without addressing the obvious questions? Jaguar Wright directly called out both Diddy and Jay-Z, describing them as figures who held long-term control over the industry. She also brought up the long-running Aaliyah plane crash theory, a topic that has never fully gone away despite years of silence. Some people believe Aaliyah's close professional proximity to Jay-Z created tension behind the scenes. Jaguar claimed Jay-Z played a role in putting her on a plane that later crashed, framing it as retaliation after she allegedly rejected him. According to her, removing Aaliyah from the picture conveniently cleared space for Beyonce, who was still fighting to rise at that time. These claims remain unproven, but the fact they continue to circulate keeps it locked on the unanswered questions. None of this has been officially confirmed.
About this, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Still, many point out that Jay-Z has never directly addressed these rumors in public. For critics, that lack of response only fuels speculation. Silence in this case is interpreted as avoidance rather than denial. Another detail raised eyebrows when lawsuits against Diddy began piling up. The attorney who appeared repeatedly was Alex Spiro, known publicly as Jay-Z's personal lawyer. People immediately questioned why the same lawyer kept surfacing around Diddy-related cases.
Lawsuit that's suing Tony Busby? Spiro is a partner, and Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name, but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
mass panic. Mass panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
No, they can't. That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party, and I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams
right after Diddy got arrested, running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this. If all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the after dark, why would you say, I left early? Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Exactly.
Because how would you know
That
there was another party
Exactly.
if you weren't informed?
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party. I didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known about
Exactly.
it. You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party. It was a white party. It was dancing. It was wild. But at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party. I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there
Yeah.
because you wouldn't have known about another
Exactly.
party.
Some insiders suggest the move was strategic, aimed at managing fallout, controlling narratives, and limiting how far certain stories could travel before more powerful names entered the conversation. The concern many people raise is simple. If Diddy were to start talking and naming names, a long list of powerful figures could be affected. Some believe that is exactly what certain people want to prevent. This is why attention keeps circling back to Jay-Z, at least in public speculation. His rise in the industry has long been discussed, and one name that often comes up is Big L. Big L played a key role early on, introducing Jay-Z to Dame Dash and helping open doors at Rockefeller during early negotiations. At the time, discussions were reportedly taking place for Big L and his crew to secure a deal. Just days later, Big L was killed in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. The case remains unsolved. Jaguar Wright has described his death as the first in a series of unexplained losses surrounding Jay-Z's climb. No evidence has ever confirmed this, but some observers argue the timing continues to raise questions when viewed in hindsight. From there, the focus shifts to level 2 of the power structure. This level includes figures often described as industry gatekeepers, including Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis. Starting with Oprah, critics point to her documented closeness with Harvey Weinstein. She appeared alongside him publicly, supported projects connected to him, and remained silent during years when rumors about his behavior were widely circulated in Hollywood. Survivors later said voices with major platforms could have made a difference. Oprah's silence became part of the criticism, with some believing it reflected protection of a system rather than confrontation of it. Another controversy often mentioned is the school Oprah funded in South Africa. The project received significant investment and was positioned as a long-term legacy effort. Shortly after opening, allegations emerged involving a dorm staff member accused of misconduct. Oprah responded publicly, removed staff, and addressed the situation emotionally, but critics have continued to question how the circumstances unfolded and whether all concerns were fully addressed. The question many people keep asking is whether Oprah knew more than she ever admitted publicly.
You know, she's f***ing Ray J, and then it's Grammy time,
That happened.
and her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, Jay was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola has said, Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
Old photos have resurfaced showing her at private industry events where Diddy was also present. That alone proves nothing, but it has reopened conversations. Jaguar Wright and Dr. Umar Johnson have both suggested that Oprah holds a quiet kind of power in Hollywood. Not loud influence, but the type that makes people hesitate before crossing her. The kind of influence that can stall careers without public confrontation. Those claims remain opinions, but they explain why some believe her silence carried weight. When people with massive platforms stay quiet, others notice. Whether that silence was intentional protection or simple distance is still debated. From there, attention shifts to Clive Davis. He is over 9 decades old and has been embedded in the music industry for generations. He founded Arista Records in the 1970s and played a major role in launching artists like Billy Joel, Janis Joplin, and Carlos Santana. His legacy is deeply tied to power and access. Controversy enters through long-standing claims made by Suge Knight. Suge has repeatedly alleged that Clive Davis and Diddy were far closer than a standard mentor relationship. According to Suge, Clive himself described their connection as personal, not just professional. These claims have never been confirmed and remain allegations. What keeps people talking is Clive's reaction when questioned publicly. During a media moment, a reporter attempted to ask him about Diddy. Clive appeared visibly uncomfortable and refused to respond. For critics, that reaction raised eyebrows. For others, it meant nothing at all. But once again, silence became part of the story. Another topic that continues to surface is the long-running speculation surrounding Whitney Houston's death. Over the years, some people have questioned whether everything about that night was fully explained. It's been reported that Whitney had a serious disagreement with Clive Davis just days before she passed away, and members of her family were allegedly aware of tensions during that period. Ray J was publicly identified as one of the last people to see her alive, which has kept his name tied to ongoing rumors. Some family members and associates have disputed the official account, claiming Whitney did not simply pass away by accident. These statements remain allegations and have never been proven in court, but they continue to circulate. What fuels the speculation is that despite decades of rumors surrounding Clive Davis, he has never been arrested or charged with any wrongdoing. For critics, that pattern raises questions about power and protection within the industry. This has led some to believe that Diddy may be absorbing public attention, while others remain untouched behind the scenes. That idea feeds into a broader narrative about who actually benefits when one figure becomes the focus of controversy. From there, the conversation reaches the top of the pyramid, where one name surprised many people: Bishop T.D. Jakes, a religious leader with massive influence, known for preaching to large congregations and holding a respected public image. For months, 50 Cent has repeatedly referenced Jakes online, sparking speculation about why his name keeps appearing. The theory being discussed is that if corruption reaches into religious institutions, the situation becomes much larger than entertainment alone. Some suggest that figures seeking legitimacy or moral cover may align themselves with trusted spiritual leaders. In 50 Cent's documentary, clips of T.D. Jakes appear at notable moments, including during testimony describing physical and emotional after effects from attending private parties. Those editing choices have led viewers to question whether the placement was symbolic, intentional, or simply coincidental. Many viewers believe 50 Cent placed those clips intentionally, almost like a coded message rather than random editing. The idea is that he's connecting dots without spelling everything out. Comedian Cat Williams had warned years ago that a moment would come when hidden truths would surface, regardless of status or reputation. According to that warning, fame would not protect anyone, whether they were entertainers, executives, or religious leaders. When Bishop T.D. Jakes was later asked about allegations connected to Diddy, his response stood out to many people. Instead of directly denying anything, he brushed it aside and said to keep things moving. He added that even if something were true, repentance would cover it, though he claimed he had nothing to repent for. That response spread quickly online. Public reaction was intense. Many commenters argued that innocent people usually issue clear denials, not spiritual hypotheticals. Jaguar Wright then added fuel to the discussion with more claims. She suggested that if Bishop Jakes had been present at any private events connected to Diddy, there were only limited explanations tied to power and influence. Those statements were her opinions and not supported by verified evidence. Jaguar also claimed that Cassie provided federal authorities with extensive material, including videos and audio recordings from private gatherings. According to her, the material allegedly involved well-known figures from entertainment and politics. These claims remain unproven. The most controversial part of her statements involved allegations from adult male escorts who reportedly described encounters at these events and named high-profile individuals. No court has verified these claims, and no charges have resulted. Still, the combination of repeated accusations, silence, and editing choices has kept public speculation alive, with many people questioning whether the full story has yet to surface. There are also claims circulating that an individual who says he was harmed years ago has now hired legal representation and is preparing a civil lawsuit against Bishop T.D. Jakes. According to unverified reports from people claiming insider knowledge, the situation was previously handled privately within families involved. These claims have not been tested in court and no legal findings have been made. What's being alleged is that the individual, now an adult, wants to pursue accountability independently. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has also spoken publicly about related concerns. He questioned why a religious leader would attend private gatherings where behavior openly conflicted with church teachings. Gene stated that from his perspective, it was difficult to reconcile those settings unless the individual was knowingly present for what was happening. These were his personal opinions, not verified facts. Gene also claimed he has heard rumors of recordings that could eventually surface. According to him, if such material exists and becomes public, it would shift the conversation from speculation to evidence. At this point, no such material has been confirmed. From there, the discussion widens into something even larger, the Epstein connection. When Elon Musk appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast, the conversation moved beyond Diddy and toward global power dynamics. Elon suggested that certain wealthy figures appear anxious, not because of policy debates, but because of potential legal exposure tied to sealed records. The concern, as framed in that discussion, is that if political leadership changes, previously protected information could become public. Joe Rogan asked whether some tech leaders seemed uneasy during these conversations. Elon responded with a single word: yes. Joe Rogan compared what Diddy is accused of running to the same type of compromise operation linked to Jeffrey Epstein. In both cases, the allegation is that powerful people were secretly recorded in compromising situations, then controlled through fear and silence. That comparison alone forced a lot of uncomfortable questions into the open. One of the most disturbing questions people keep asking is who enabled Diddy and how many influential figures may appear on those recordings. Melinda Gates offered a rare public insight when she explained that one of the main reasons she left Bill Gates was his continued association with Epstein, even after Epstein's conviction. She has said that meeting Epstein left her deeply unsettled, describing the experience as feeling something dark and wrong. If that connection was serious enough for her to walk away from one of the most powerful men in the world, it raises questions about what she may have understood long before the public did. It also brings back warnings from Dave Chappelle, who described the entertainment industry as a system built on control. He compared it to a structure where changing locations does not mean escaping power, only serving a different authority. Chappelle admitted that even with fame and success, he felt trapped. If someone at his level felt boxed in, it leads many to wonder what that means for everyone else inside the system. This story is far from finished. More names may surface, more information could emerge, and more questions will follow. So now, it's your turn. Do you believe Bishop T.D. Jakes sits at the top of this pyramid, or is there an even bigger figure still hidden from view? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown made you think, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Let others hear it too. We're digging deeper next time, covering more names and connections as this unfolds. Stay locked in, and I'll see you in the next one.